Hey everybody, it's Max Farrow over at DexIndicators.net. This is the Dex Daily Signals Indicator setups and indicator add-on. We're going to discuss a few things about the setup and how to add on other indicators. Now, which assets do I set? Well, simply enough, we set up the Euro USD, Euros British Gold Pound, Euro JPY, British Gold Pound USD, British Gold Pound JPY, Audi USD, Audi JPY, USD JPY, USD CHF, and USD CAD. Now, all of these are on the Nadex platform, as you can see right here. Now, once you click onto one, every single one has what we refer to as a daily marker. This one only has 3 p.m. because it's Friday and there's only one left for the day. Usually there's about 4 or 5 that you'll see on there. Sometimes there's not an overlapping feature from that process, so keep that in mind. The cool part too is that there is on each one of them, they all have a daily. So you're never going to miss out on getting into a daily system, okay? So just keep that in mind. Now we also set up our MetaTrader 4 on the 15-minute time frame. And once the signal comes out, we can back up 12 bars to set our distance in high and low. We use the same expiry for the Nadex daily, the 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m., 11 p.m., and 3 a.m. These are the 6 daily markers that are also on the Nadex platform for each one of these that you have an opportunity. So using this on Nadex can be a little bit tricky, okay? But it still can be done. It's still very profitable. We can use a process called working order trades. Now, if you don't know how to do this, simply watch our Nadex Ninja series inside the free section over in the training section on Dex Indicators. Definitely will help set you straight on how to do a working order. There'll also be live trades that I'll be showing you that I do with this system attached to this training here very soon. So keep an eye out for that. We'll also be sending emails out to everybody when they're up. We can also use a choke up series, which I'll show you inside, on how well the lines will come out for support and resistance if we're going to be able to get into certain trades as they choke up. Because remember, this sets a range of a high and a low, and I want to show you how that all works in a couple minutes here. You can use other indicators like we were talking about with directional and level. So support and resistance, EMAs, a few things. So you'll see what those are here in a second. The amount of profit that you're going to be getting should be between $20 and $40. If it's anything lower than that or anything higher than that, you're creating too much of a risk. The reason being, if it's anything lower, it's too much on the risk side, okay, for your risk management. If it's anything higher, it means it's really probably already on the side of what we call the OTM, or out of the money, okay? What other indicator should you use? Simply enough, the Dex support and resistance system. Maybe a double stochastic would be good to have on, and I'll show you how to set that up. And a 20 and 50 EMA. This might make the system a little crowded in there, so use it as caution. You don't have to have them on there, but the 20 and 50 EMA allow you to have a little bit more understanding of the trend and direction, and if there's any events that are happening at the moment. Let's go have a look and start getting set up. Okay, so first and foremost, we have our first chart up, and we have created our indicator on the site, on the chart. Okay, it's already been set straight out of the box. Just got to click a few buttons and boom, it's on, right? We've also started to set up the understanding of what each one of the arrows are. When the arrow comes out, it means that it has already emerged past our preset high and low. Okay, so it's giving you a direction of saying that there's a 95 to 97% chance that it's going to be under the high or low of the last 12 bars. Okay, so here's what you do. You set up on the actual arrow bar, okay, make sure that it all lines up. You can even just right click your or click your mouse button, or you can come up here and hit the crosshair, or you can actually grab a draw a vertical line. Now, what I like to do is I like to have my vertical line ready, and I go back and just click and drag, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm right around there, okay? And now what I'm looking for is my high marker and my low marker, right, of the close or the open. You don't have to worry about going to the highs and lows of the bar, okay? So I like to go right about there, and of course, I know it's right around here we could possibly be looking at, okay? These are my highs and lows that I can work with right now. Okay. And this has a lot of pips in between it, about 60 pips total, right? And that's okay, because what we're really looking for is that probability of where this market's going to be ranging at and where it's going to be playing at. Now, if this was it, this is a lot of good information, because we know that right around 50% of the way is a nice, good marker to be at. That even if it does come back, it'll return and start bouncing off around 50% of the way that it has over this time period. That's one way to trade it. Find something close to the 60% and trade it. It has a good percentage rate. I think it's something like 92, 93% success at that point, right? The other is you can put a working order in at the highest margin of it, the highest part, or the closest 20 pip, because the Nadex system is 20 pips apart on the dailies. Okay, so at 90, you can come down to 80 at that point, and this has a success rate. So you want to test these out in your demo. Now, if you just wanted to trade that and take your risk, take your gamble, because you're doing a expiry on the 7 a.m., 7 p.m., the ones that I showed you earlier, right? So this one was set that just came out at the 3 p.m., which just happened right there. Okay, so it looks like we would have won the 50%. We would definitely won this one if we got in, but if we set it at 50%. But one of the other things that we can do is add on other support and resistance areas, right? Now, before you put all these lines on, make sure you delete them, because you don't want, before you put these lines on, we want to create a template, right? And I'm going to show you how to do that. And the first template you want to create, okay, is of course your DEX daily. But if you're going to be normally adding on all the other indicators, let's get them on first. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put on one of my favorites, which is this DEX support and resistance. I'm going to load it in through the expert set. Okay, I'm going to hit OK. All right, and this is going to set myself up with the indicators on board. And then I'm going to set up a double stochastic, because I like, or just a single stochastic for now, set at 1433. Refer to this as the fast stow. I'm going to lower this down some so I got a little bit more of a feel there. And this will give me a feeling when things start to become overbought and oversold. All right. And then I might put one more just to kind of, so it's not too convoluted. I might put just a single EMA on board so I can follow trend just with a glance. Come to trend, come to moving average. I'm going to shift it to 20, make it a color that'll stand out, the yellow-green, and there we go. I can see easily that this is in a downtrend. Okay? Now, when I come on and draw my lines and all that stuff, I want to have just these indicators on. So right now, I'm pretty much well ready for a template to be set up. So I'll right-click my screen, I'll go to template, and I'll hit Save Template. Simply enough, I want to call this the DEX Daily. Then I got support and resistance, stochastic, and EMA. Okay, use abbreviations. You'll know what they are. And I hit save. That way, if I open up another chart, I just right-click that chart, go to template, go to the DEX Daily, SR, SM, SEMA, and boom, there it is. I have all my information on exactly where I need it. Perfect. But got to set it to the 15-minute time frame. You just got to make sure you do that. Okay? It's that simple. Now, when it's time to start making those decisions on where all the lines go for the next part, real simple. Every time the arrow comes out, you'll simply click on a line, put a line on the arrow itself. Go back up to 12 bars back, because that's 3 hours. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So right around there. Right? And of course, put a horizontal bar at the high during that time, another horizontal bar at the low. Now, on the one before the low, the bar before the arrow, that's the one you want to put it, mark it on the low, not the one with the arrow on it. Okay? Because the one with the arrow on it means that that's the bar that broke the level that we're concerned about. Okay? Now, as you can see, you come to those positions, you mark, you can look and see that that's a 30 pip range. All right. Now, if you got a 30 pip range, it's a little bit more difficult to hit a 50%. Okay, and you can kind of see the 50% trade would have worked here. All right, because you're down below that margin there. From that point, you could also see that there were some good opportunities, probably even if you did get in early for scalps. Okay, if you got in this would have went down really far. That's about 20 pips below that margin when it kicked. So if you would have gotten in somewhere around that position, you would have made some pretty good money if you would have gotten in from like this SR level right here. All right, but again, that 50% level does really well within that margin. Okay, so if you're testing out a demo, you're testing out that process, when you had the opportunity to get in, there's also another opportunity, folks, and it is using this information of the range to say, okay, this came down and grabbed and hit this SR level and bounced off. There's a possibility of reverse trade, okay, encapsulation trade happening from this level as well. All right, so there's a lot of opportunity with this actual indicator and figuring out a lot of information. There's a lot of work in computing for the arrows as well. Okay, let's just scroll back and look let's look at another one. Let's open up a chart, open up the Euro GP or Euro USD, and go to template, go to my DEX daily. There we go, and I'm completely set up. Okay, there's my bar. Well, there's my arrow. I'm going to put my bar there. I'm going to go back 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right there. Now, my high is already set up by the SR level, so I'm pretty good with that one. And my low is the bar before is really close to that SR level. So, looks like it's doing its job, right? I could possibly even at that point, since I have a nice SR level there, that this could tell me, hey, look, this is an opportunity for a good at-the-money trade possibility because you're only about 5 or 6 pips off of there. And on a 20-pip margin on Nadex, you would have gotten in really good there. So keep that in mind, okay? There's a lot of variances in trading. And one of the things you'll find out easily enough is that setting these lines in on the support and resistance is really going to help you starting to understand, especially if it does go down and starts to bounce back up. You have an opportunity to make a reverse trade, but in this case, you probably wouldn't have done so well because it would have ended up outside the money. You would probably lost from that point if you would have done an SR trade. But again, this has a certain success rate just like anything else does, right? Probably wouldn't have done so because a lot of stuff was telling me that it's all still a downtrend. If we had a nice, good bounce here and it was all pointing out and it was outside the oversold area or oversold area, I probably would have done a reverse trade up. Or if we had a very flat area of the EMA, I would have done a bit up. So these indicators will help save you in the time, especially if we add on one last indicator to show you. We go to trend, go to moving average, and we do a 50 EMA. Let's change the color to something noticeable, maybe a darker green, and hit OK. Okay, and you're going to see that they both said, hey, there's no crossover, there's no craziness happening. It's definitely still a down market, right? And if we back out just a little bit, we'll see that easily enough that it's still a very downtrend as you go. All right, so hopefully this helps. This is a pretty long training, but it'll give you some information. It looks like a lot of lines, but let me tell you, when you start off getting to know the beginning part of it, it'll all start to make sense for you in the long run. I'm Max Farrow, and this is DEX Indicators. I want to thank you for your time. Hope to see you inside, and trade well.